You don't lose your life in one big mistake. You lose it in the small things you ignore every single day, the conversations you avoid, the discipline you postpone, the standards you slowly lower, until one day you wake up and don't recognize the person staring back at you. See, people think success is built in moments. It's not. It's built in the quiet, invisible decisions you make when nobody's watching. And if you're serious about becoming someone powerful, someone respected, someone unstoppable, then there are things you don't occasionally work on. You work on them every single day. I'm not here to give you 10 surface level habits you'll forget tomorrow. I'm giving you 3 foundations, 3 areas that, if you master them daily, will change the trajectory of your entire life. Everything begins in a place nobody else can see, not your job, not your background, not the hand you were dealt. It starts in your mind. That space between your ears, that's where the real battle is fought. And don't get it twisted, there is always a battle going on. Every single day, something is trying to shape how you think. If you're not intentional about what goes in, then you're leaving the door wide open for anything to walk in. Fear walks in, doubt walks in. The opinions of people who don't even live your life, they walk in and start rearranging your future without your permission. And here's the dangerous part, most people don't even realize it's happening. They think those thoughts are theirs. They think that voice telling them you're not ready or you're not good enough is truth. No, that's conditioning, that's programming. You've got to interrupt that, because once your mind accepts a limitation, your life starts to reflect it. I want you to understand something powerful. There was research done at Stanford that revealed a simple but life-altering truth. People who believe they can grow, who believe they can get better, outperform those who don't even when they start behind. Less talent, fewer resources, more obstacles, and they still come out ahead. Why? Because they refuse to let their mind become their enemy. They trained it, and that's the difference. Not luck, not talent. Training every day, you've got to put your mind through reps, just like a muscle. You can't feed it junk and expect strength. You can't surround yourself with negativity and expect clarity. You can't keep replaying your past failures and expect a powerful future. You've got to feed it something better, something sharper, something that challenges you. That voice in your head that says you can't, you don't silence it by wishing it away. You confront it, you question it, you replace it. You build a new voice, one rooted in discipline, not emotion, because emotions will lie to you. They'll tell you you're tired when you're capable. They'll tell you to quit when you're close. They'll tell you to settle when you're meant for more. That's why you don't wait to feel confident. You build confidence the hard way, through repetition, through showing up, through keeping promises to yourself when nobody's watching, one thought at a time, one decision at a time. That's how you take control. I've seen people with every advantage lose because they let their minds drift into comfort. And I've seen people with nothing rise because they guarded their thoughts like their life depended on it. Because it does. If you don't take ownership of your mind, someone else will. Society will define you. Your past will trap you. Your fears will shrink you. And one day you'll look around and realize you didn't choose this life, it was chosen for you. But it doesn't have to be that way. You can decide right now that your mind works for you, not against you. That every thought has to earn its place. That every belief has to serve your growth. And when you do that consistently, when you train your mind daily with intention and discipline, you don't just think differently, you become different. Let's get real for a moment. The kind of real most people spend their whole lives avoiding. Take a look at your life. Not the version you post, not the one you explain, but the one you actually live day to day. That life didn't just happen to you. It was shaped piece by what you decided was okay. The effort you gave when nobody was checking, the excuses you let slide because they sounded reasonable. The habits you knew were holding you back, but kept anyway. That's your standard. And here's the truth most people don't want to hear. Standards don't come from what you say. They come from what you accept. You can talk about big dreams all day. You can tell people where you're going, what you're capable of, what you deserve. But at the end of the day, your actions tell the real story. Every single day, you're casting a vote for the person you're becoming. Not once in a while, not when it's convenient every day. I remember hearing about a young man chasing greatness in sports. He had the talent, he had the opportunity. And when he felt good, when the energy was right, he showed up and worked like a champion. But sometimes doesn't build greatness. One day his coach pulled him aside. No anger, no yelling, just truth, and said, you don't get rewarded for what you do occasionally. You get rewarded for what you do consistently. That wasn't just advice. That was a mirror, because consistency exposes your real standard. Anybody can be impressive once. Anybody can show flashes of discipline when the mood is right. But life doesn't reward flashes, it rewards patterns. And patterns come from standards. See, excellence isn't emotional. It's not waiting for you to feel ready. It doesn't pause because you're tired or stressed or distracted. It keeps moving with or without you. So if your standard depends on how you feel, you've already lost control, because feelings change. One day you're motivated, the next day you're not. One day you're focused, the next day you're distracted. If that's what's guiding you, then your life will always be unstable. But when your standard is fixed, when you decide, this is who I am, no matter what, everything changes. Now your actions don't negotiate. You show up because that's what you do. You give effort because that's your baseline. You push forward because quitting is no longer part of your identity. And here's where it gets uncomfortable again. You've got to start questioning what you're allowing. That extra hour wasted when you knew you had work to do. That excuse you repeated so many times it started sounding like truth. That moment you lowered the bar just to make things easier on yourself. Ask yourself honestly, would the person you're trying to become accept that, or would they demand more? Because the gap between where you are and where you want to be isn't just skill, it's standards. Higher standards close that gap, but they come with a price. They demand discipline when it's inconvenient. They demand effort when nobody's watching. They demand that you hold yourself accountable, even when it would be easier not to. That's the cost. So the question isn't whether you can raise your standard. The real question is, are you ready to live by it every single day? Let's tell the truth the way it needs to be told. Motivation will make you feel powerful for a moment. It'll give you that spark, that rush, that feeling like you can take on the world. You watch something inspiring, you hear the right words, and suddenly you're ready to change everything. But then morning comes, and that feeling, it fades. That's the problem. Motivation is a visitor. It shows up unannounced, stays for a while, and then leaves just as quickly. And if that's what you're depending on, then your progress will always be temporary, because life doesn't wait for you to feel ready. Discipline. Now that's something else entirely. Discipline doesn't ask how you feel. It doesn't check your mood. It doesn't care if yesterday was hard or if today feels heavy. It shows up anyway. That's the difference. There's a reason why research in behavioral psychology keeps pointing to the same conclusion. People who build structured routines, people who rely on systems instead of emotions, are far more likely to achieve long-term success. Not because they're more talented, not because they're more inspired, because they took away the question. They don't wake up asking, do I feel like doing this today? That question is dangerous, because most days the answer is going to be no. Instead, they've already decided, this is who I am, this is what I do. And when you reach that point, something shifts inside you. Your actions stop being optional. Think about it like this. You don't debate whether or not to brush your teeth. You don't sit on the edge of your bed negotiating with yourself. You just do it. It's automatic. It's part of your identity. Now, imagine if your goals lived at that same level. Imagine if taking care of your body wasn't something you tried to do, but something you simply did. Imagine if working on your craft wasn't based on energy or inspiration, but on commitment. That's where real change begins. Not in those intense bursts where you go all in for a week and burn out the next. Not in those moments where everything feels perfect and aligned. Real transformation is quieter than that. It's built in the days you don't feel like it. It's built in the moments nobody sees. It's built when you choose discipline over comfort, again and again, until it becomes second nature. I've seen people with big dreams stay exactly where they are, not because they didn't want it badly enough, but because they kept waiting for the perfect feeling to take action. And I've seen others, people with less talent, less opportunity, rise far beyond expectations because they made a decision. They decided that their habits would speak louder than their intentions. Because let's be clear, your future isn't listening to what you say you're going to do. It's watching what you repeat. Every day you delay, every time you choose comfort, every moment you push it off until tomorrow, you're reinforcing a pattern, and patterns build your life. So if you want something different, you can't rely on how you feel. You've got to build something stronger, a routine that doesn't break under pressure, a mindset that doesn't negotiate with excuses. A standard that turns action into identity. Because when discipline becomes part of who you are, you stop starting over and you start moving forward, no matter what. So here's the reality. You don't need a new life. You need new daily standards. Work on your mind so it works for you, not against you. Raise your standards so your life reflects your worth. Build your discipline so your actions don't depend on your feelings. And if you do that, not once, not when it's easy, but every single day, you won't just change your circumstances, you'll change who you are. And once that happens, there's nothing and no one that can stop you.